दिवसीय लेक्चर सीरीज के 6वें दिन पर आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है। आज हमारे बीच उपस्थित हैं डॉक्टर संजीव कुमार पात्रा सर। आपका हमारा ककुलिश योग यूनिवर्सिटी हार्दिक स्वागत करता है। सर का परिचय दिया जाए तो सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी राजस्थान में योग डिपार्टमेंट में हेड एंड एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर हैं। एस व्यासा में रिसर्च संशोधन विभाग में अच्छा कार्य किया है। केवलिया धाम लोनावाला में भी संशोधन विभाग में अच्छा कार्य किया है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर सिंगापुर और चीन में स्लिप वर्कशॉप का बड़ा आयोजन किया था। विविध कमेटी में आप सदस्य रह चुके हैं। आपके पास बहुत ही अच्छा ज्ञान है। आपका मैं हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। आज का टॉपिक है योग एंड इफेक्टिव टूल फॉर इम्यूनि मॉड्यूलेशन। इस टॉपिक पर मैं डॉक्टर संजीव सर से निवेदन करता हूं कि वह अपना वक्तव्य स्पष्ट करें। श्री डॉक्टर संजीव कुमार पात्रा सर।
थैंक यू। नमस्ते आप सबको, मतलब सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ राजस्थान से आपके लिए मैं ग्रीटिंग्स लेके आया हूँ और आप लोगों ने हमको इनवाइट किया इस टॉक के लिए, तो आप लोगों को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं। लेकिन एक चीज है, हम हमारे टॉक को हम इंग्लिश में रखेंगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा, हम रख सकते हैं ना इंग्लिश में। और बीच में कोई क्वेश्चन वगैरह होगा तो फिर वो हिंदी में, हर क्वेश्चन का जवाब हम हिंदी में देने के लिए जाएंगे। ठीक है, सिंपल इंग्लिश में बोलने के लिए कोशिश करूंगा। ठीक है, so yoga and immune modulation. So we'll try to understand what is immunity. It is a condition of being able to resist a particular disease is called immunity. This is a condition of being able to resist a particular disease is called immunity. Now, why this topic? Why did I select this topic? Now, during the outbreak of COVID, we need to know about immunity. And I believe that identification of a disease is 50% cure. Once you identify the reason behind your suffering, once you identify the reason behind your suffering, the 50% of your problem can be automatically solved. So immunity is a condition of being able to resist a particular disease. This is of two types: innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is everyone is born with innate immunity. It's a type of general protection. From the time of birth, we have born with a protection ability. That is called innate immunity. And what is adaptive immunity? Adaptive immunity is otherwise called active immunity. So it develops throughout our lives. Like for example, you eat, you roam around, you move, you play, you run. So every time you expose your body to the different varieties of climate, variety of environment, you expose your body to the different variety of food. So after eating the food, your immunity develops. After you expose yourself to a different environment, your immunity develops. So you acquire that immunity. You develop that immunity over a period of time. That is called adaptive immunity. Adaptive immunity. So immunity is mainly the immune functions in your body, in our body, is mainly carried out by the WBC or white blood cells. In our blood, we will find variety of cells, and the cells are RBC or red blood cell, white blood cells, and the platelets. And the white blood cells or the leukocytes form the immune system in the body. It is like defense ministry. It is like defense system in the body. In the defense system, you will find the army, you will find the navy, you will find the air force. The same way, in our body also, we find the RBC, we find the WBC. So within the WBC, let's imagine your WBC is like army. And within the army, you will find variety of regiments, like Gurkha regiments, Rajput regiments, Tamil regiments, Maratha infantry, okay, Assam rifles, okay, so Jat regiments, etc. So there are many regiments. So similarly, in the white blood cells also you will find variety of regiments. In other words, I would say there are two major types of leukocytes. It is like our defense system. In the defense system, you will find, the Navy, Air Force, and Army. The same way, in our defense system in the body, which is mainly carried out by the leukocytes, has two variety of subsystems, and they are called phagocytes and lymphocytes. Okay, and each of the subsystem has many variety of regiments, and they are trained to carry out a particular type of task. Let us try to understand why it is called phagocytic cells. Phagocytic cell means there are two types of, I would say the antigen engulfing. Our phagocytic cells, our WBC are trained to engulf, trained to eat the antigens, invaders, the enemy cells, okay, break it, okay, surround around it, eat it, then break down it. And this phenomena is called phagocytosis. And the cells, those who are assigned to carry out this task, are called phagocytic cells. So these cells surround, background, and eat the pathogens. Pathogens means they are the disease-causing microorganism in our body. Disease-causing microorganism. It may be the bacteria, it may be the virus, it may be the fungi, it may be anything because of which we suffer. So they are called the pathogens. So the phagocytic cells are there are different variety of phagocytic cells in our blood, in our body. They are neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, and mast cells. So to look into the activity or the task given to neutrophils are also called the first line of defense. Like, the India borders are well surrounded or well protected by border security force. The same way, neutrophils to be the border security force of our defense system, border security force of our whole body. Am I clear? And they are the most common type of phagocyte cell, and they attack. They are trained to attack the bacteria. They are trained to act the bacteria, attack the bacteria. Next phagocytic cell is monocytes. So these are the largest type of phagocytic cell, and they have several roles to play in the defense system within the body. The third one is macrophage. And when these monocytes are found in the different tissue in the body, like for example, they are found in the brain, they are found in the liver, they are found in the kidney, they are found in the spleen, their name changes, their nomenclature changes. They are called macrophage. So what is the work of macrophage? So they remove the dead and the dying cells from the body. Another type of phagocytic cell, mast cell, help to heal the wounds. So defend against the pathogens or the disease-causing microorganisms. So I'll show you. So this is how the monocyte look. This is how the neutrophil look. This is how the mast cell looks. And in addition to that, there are other variety of cells. Eosinophil cell. Eosinophil cell look like this. Basophil cells look like this. All these are the different regiments of the WBC. Macrophage look like this. In addition to that, there are many variety of other cells like P cell, B cell, natural killer cell, dendritic cell. But anyway, I'll be explaining about the B cell and T cell in the subsequent slides. Hello, sir. मेरा वॉइस मुझे कम आ रही है? अच्छा 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 ठीक है सर, ठीक है सर, ठीक है सर, अभी तक। Thank you. I'll try now. Okay. Just a minute. I'm trying now. नहीं आ रही है ना? मैं भी ट्राई कर रहा हूँ। बिना हेडफोन के? अच्छा ठीक है, निकाल दूंगा, निकाल दूंगा। अच्छा ठीक है, ओके। तो अभी अभी बिना हेडफोन के बोलूं? अच्छा ठीक है, ओके ओके ओके, ठीक है, ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। So now, मेरा okay. Sorry. So, हम पहले से शुरू करें, पहले से शुरू करें।
सर यहीं से शुरू करें तो भी चलेगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
ओके, इम्यून सेल से फिर शुरू करता हूँ। ओके
जी जी जी।
ओके, so white blood cells or leukocyte form the immune system in the body. So it forms the immune system in the body. Mainly, there are two major types of leukocytes. They are phagocytes and lymphocytes. Phagocytes mainly they surround, break down, and eat the pathogens. And there are variety of pathogens. Pathogens are mainly the disease-causing microbes, disease-causing microorganism. There are variety of pathogens in our body, mainly the neutrophils, monocytes, macrophages, and mast cells. Mainly the neutrophils are the most common type of phagocyte, and they attack the bacteria. They are trained to attack the bacteria. They are also called the first, they are supposed to be the first line of defense. First line of defense in our body. First line of defense in our body, like the border security force. The way the border security forces are assigned to protect the border, the same way neutrophils are assigned to protect the border of the body. Not only the border of the body, they're also, they are trained to first fight with the pathogens. Monocytes, they are the largest type and have several roles. When the monocytes are found in the different tissue in a different form, they are found in the brain, they are found in the liver, they are found in the kidney, they are found in the spleen, but with a different name. Like for example, in the brain, it is called microglia cell. In the spleen, it is called reticuloendothelial cell. In the kidney, it is called copper cell. So its name changes, and it is called macrophages. In other words, they are the matured monocytes found in different variety of cells in the body. So they remove the dead and dying cells in our body. And what about the mast cell? Mast cell help to heal the wounds and defend against the disease-causing microorganism called pathogens. So this is how the monocyte look. This is how the mast cell look, neutrophil look, eosinophil look, macrophage look, and basophil look. Now I'll be talking about the B cell, T cell, and natural killer cell in the subsequent slide. Now let me tell what is the work of the dendritic cell. As the name suggests, it has many dendrites. And these dendrites are responsible to trap a microorganism, trap a pathogen, so that it will become a stumbling block. or it will block the movement of the pathogens in our body. Lymphocytes, they help the body to remember the previous invaders. They recognize the invaders. And when they come back to attack the bacteria again, and the lymphocytes are of two types, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes, they produce the antibody. They are trained to produce the antibody. And they help to alert the T lymphocytes. And what about the T lymphocytes? They destroy the compromised cell in the body. And they help to alert the other lymphocytes in the body. Now, if you see the primary distinction or the differentiation between the B cell and T cell, B cell says, I attack the invaders outside the cell. I attack the enemy outside the cell. But the T cell is, I attack the infected cells directly. Am I clear? As the name suggests, why is it called B cell? B for bone marrow. B for bone marrow. So these cells attain their maturity in bone marrow, therefore it is called B cell. T cell, they attain their maturity in a gland called thymus gland, which is located in the center of the chest, within the chest cavity. Therefore it is called T cells or T lymphocytes, because they attain their maturity within the thymus gland. Therefore it is called T cells or T lymphocytes. Now we'll try to understand how do immune cells get produced in our body. Mainly in the bone marrow, there is a precursor cell called hematopoietic stem cell. And this stem cell will give rise to two varieties of cells called lymphoid progenitor cell and myeloid progenitor cell. And this lymphoid progenitor cell will further give rise to two different progenitor cell, B progenitor cell and T progenitor cell. And T progenitor cell gives rise to memory cell, memory T cell, cytotoxic T cell, helper T cell. I'll be explaining about the function of each one of them. But what about the B progenitor cell? It gives rise to the plasma cell and the memory cell. This lymphoid progenitor cell also independently gives rise to a killer cell called natural killer cell. This acts against the tumor cell. This acts against the cancer cell. Whereas the myeloid progenitor cell gives rise to mast cell, mainly the phagocytic cell, the neutrophils, the eosinophils, basophils, the monocytes. And definitely when the monocyte attains its maturity called macrophage, and this monocyte also gives rise to dendritic cell. So from mast cell to dendritic cell, all the cells are put together called innate immune system. They constitute to form a system called innate immune system. Whereas the other cells, they constitute to form a system called adaptive immune system. Adaptive or acquired immune system. Those immune system that you acquire over a period of time, the immune system that we keep on acquiring when you start exposing yourself to the environment, start exposing yourself to the different variety of environment, you start developing an immune system called adaptive immune system or acquired immune system. And this is the immune system you are born with. This is the protective system of the body. Or this is the system, this is the immune system you are born with. And this provides a general protection to every child after he or she takes birth. Now we'll talk about the T lymphocytes. Lymphocytes is of two types, T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. T lymphocytes are the cell, they attain their maturity in the thymus gland. It is of four different types. Helper T cell. Helper T cell means it helps the cytotoxic cell. It helps the B cells. Therefore, it is called helper T cell. Regulator T cell means it will regulate the activity of the cytotoxic cell or killer cells. Similarly, suppressor cell means these are the T cell that will suppress the activity of the microorganism within our body. Now, for our understanding, helper T cells are also called CD4 cells. Cytotoxic cells are also called CD8 cell. Then if you ask me what is CD, C for cluster, D for differentiation. Cluster of differentiation 4 cells. This is cluster of differentiation 8. If you again ask me what is cluster of differentiation, I would say these are the receptors found on the surface of the helper T cells. These are the receptors found on the surface of the cytotoxic or killer T cells, killer cells. So based on the presence or looking at the presence of these variety of receptors, they are called CD4 cells. They are called CD8 cells. So similarly, B lymphocyte, they attain their maturity in the bone marrow. So it is of two different types, plasma cell and memory cell. Mainly the plasma cell produces millions of antibody, and these millions of antibody come into the blood circulation to fight against the antigens. So antibodies are of different type. They are also called immunoglobulins. They are the superclass proteins. And they are of different types. IgG, immunoglobulin G or gamma, immunoglobulin M, mu, immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin alpha, immunoglobulin delta, immunoglobulin L epsilon. So IgG is mainly responsible for phagocytosis. It is also called opsonization or neutralization activity. There are different types of IgG like IgG 1, 2, 3, and 4. What is IgM? They are produced upon the antigen invasion. When the antigen invasion happens, so the IgM is produced. IgA, it is expressed in the mucosal tissue. It is expressed in the mucosal tissue. As for example, nasal mucosa, you will find the IgA. But IgD, the function is yet to be explored. IgE is involved in allergy. Now we'll try to understand a immunity called cell-mediated immunity. Cell-mediated immunity. So cell-mediated immunity is accomplished by a different type of lymphocyte, a variety of lymphocyte called T lymphocytes. You could see the mechanism here. So the infected cell means a cell which is infected with a microorganism or a pathogens. So what will happen? It will produce the cytokine. Cyto means cell, kines means attraction. It will produce some biochemical substance to attract the T cells. Like, memory T cell, it is one of the variety of T cell will be attracted. Helper T cell will be attracted. Similarly, the other cell like killer cells also will be attracted. Now the work of the helper T cell, it can sense the infected infected cell. So these helper T cell will keep on activating these killer T cells. So these killer T cell will keep replicating. It will keep replicating from 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. It will keep on proliferating. And these killer T cells will go to infect cells. They produce So when these killer cell produce these toxins, so the infected cell will die. It will produce the toxin and the cell will become dead. This is how the T cell accomplishes its task. This is how the T cells are trained to complete their task. Therefore, it is called cell-mediated immunity. It is mediated by a particular cell. It is like one-to-one war, like army. There is another type of immunity called humoral immunity. Humor means a fluid. Without fluid, so this waging war will not be possible. War against the pathogen will not be possible. So here, this is an infected cell. Sorry, so this is a cell with an antigen or with a pathogen, and this pathogen will be presented. So when the pathogen will be presented, so what will happen? I think, okay. I think, so let me explain from the cell-mediated immunity because I got disconnected, I think. So now the cell-mediated immunity means it will be mediated by the T cell. Now, the infected cell or the cell which is infected by the microorganism will produce a biochemical substance called cytokine. Cyto means cell and kine means attracting. So these biochemical substance will keep attracting the memory T cell along towards it, helper T cell towards it. Similarly, the killer T cell towards it. But the helper T cell will get activated, and this in turn activates these cytotoxic cell or killer cells. So now this killer cell will keep producing a toxin called cytotoxins. So these cytotoxins will kill this infected cell. Now the cell will become dead. So since this immunity is mediated by T cell, therefore it is called cell-mediated immunity. In other words, cell-to-cell war means these cells will wage the war directly against the cell. Therefore, it is called cell-mediated immunity. Cell-mediated immunity, it is like waging the war like the army. But the other one is B lymphocytes. So B lymphocytes, the way the war like Navy, not like the army. So here again, when an antigen is being presented to this cell will get activated, this helper T cell will get activated, and this helper T cell will activate the B lymphocytes. And one group of this B lymphocyte will transform into the plasma cell and the memory cell. This memory cell will have an impression about the antigen forever. But whereas this plasma cell will produce millions of antibodies to fight against the antigen. So since the antibody will be poured into the blood circulation and they will move along with the blood all throughout the body, therefore it is called humoral immunity. One thing we would like to remember here, why it called, okay, what is the work of the memory cell? So the memory cell anchors, the memory cell will have an impression about this antigen and it will keep it forever. It will store it forever. So whenever any antigen enters into the body, so it will come to know about it it will give the signal to the plasma cell, and plasma cell will pour millions of antibody into the bloodstream. So therefore, once you had chickenpox, next time you will not have. Am I clear? That is called humoral immunity. This is also called the immunity mediated by the T lymphocytes. In addition to this, we'll also come to know about some of the required immune function like opsonization, autoimmunity, complementary protein, molecular mimicry, herd immunity, and how does our immune system protect our body. What is opsonization? In a slide, we will try to understand what is opsonization. Opsonization means, for example, this is a bacteria, this is a microorganism, and on the surface of the microorganism, you will find the antigen, and when this antigen comes in contact with the antibody, will form a complex called antigen-antibody complex, and this antigen-antibody complex will activate the macrophage, found in the tissue, and this macrophage will engulf this antigen, okay, engulf the antigen, break down it, and neutralize it. In other words, it is an immune response by which the phagocytosis means solid eating. Am I clear? So it will engulf the antigen, the bacterial antigen. Am I clear? Because one of the molecule is produced when this antigen antibody complex activate the macrophage. So what will happen? A molecule is produced, and this molecule, name of this molecule is called opsinin, and this opsinin will activate the macrophage, and macrophage will initiate the phagocytosis action. So therefore, this phenomena is called opsonization. Now, autoimmunity. Autoimmunity means, all of you know, autoimmunity means, if I ask you, you know, this is a, like two lions are fighting among each other, fighting against each other. Two lions of the same community, okay? Same community are fighting against each other. In other words, again, I will give one more example. Like for example, one Indian army will make up himself, will like a Pakistani and appear before the Indian army. What will happen? The Indian army will shoot him dead. He will be shot dead by the Indian army because the Indian army cannot recognize him. So now we'll try to understand what is autoimmunity. Autoimmunity means when our own body cells, our own body proteins are destroyed by our own body immune cells, mainly the lymphocyte cells. So when the ability of the body to tolerate the lymphocyte fails. In other words, I would say there are two tolerating systems in our body. One is the central tolerating system, and the other one is peripheral tolerating system. So central tolerating system are the primary lymphoid organs. Mainly at the center of the chest, we have a gland called thymus gland. Similarly, another central tolerating system is called the bone marrow. So thymus actually gives the training, or in the thymus, T cell attain their maturity. In the bone marrow, B cells attain their maturity. In other words, there are millions of T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, but the T lymphocytes attain their maturity means these cells will have a receptor on its surface. Will have a receptor on its surface. Means the helper T cell will have a receptor in the form of CD4. Similarly, cytotoxic cell will have a receptor in the form of CD8. So similarly, the B lymphocyte also, they attain their maturity in the bone marrow. Okay? So they tolerate Why they are called central tolerating system? Because they tolerate the T lymphocytes, but they cannot. But all the lymphocytes will not have the receptor on its surface. But still, the thymus and the bone marrow tolerate it. Therefore, it is called central tolerating system. Whereas the other tolerating systems are called peripheral tolerating system. Like for example, here you have the tonsil, here you have the spleen, here you have, in the lymphoid lymph node, in the armpit you have the lymph node. Am I clear? So these lymph nodes house, shelter the lymphocytes, but they tolerate the lymphocyte. But all the lymphocytes are not found to be helpful for the body. The lymphocytes having the receptor on its surface are helpful for the body. Other lymphocytes are just tolerated by the central tolerating system and the peripheral tolerating system. Am I clear? But what will happen? What will happen if our bodies cannot tolerate it? So these lymphocytes without receptor will keep destroying, our neurons, the nerve tissue, keep destroying, the cartilage above the bones. It will also destroy the skin. It will destroy the myocardial layer of the heart. This will destroy the epidermis of the skin. This will destroy your eye. This will destroy the parenchyma cell of the lungs. It will destroy your joint. So when it destroy the bones and the cartilage, leading to rheumatoid arthritis. Similarly, in the skin, in the form of red patches called systemic lupus erythematosus. Similarly, in the heart, it is called myocarditis. Similarly, in the skin, called skin rashes, psoriasis, impaired vision in the eye, pulmonary fibrosis, joint pain. In the pancreas, it is called pancreatitis. Am I clear? So you will find here it is called multiple sclerosis. In other words, our body cannot tolerate it. These lymphocytes will go and start destroying our own body cells. Therefore here I say, when the ability of the body to tolerate the lymphocyte fails, is called autoimmunity. So they will start understanding our own body cell as the invader, and they will start destroying our own body cells, and it is called autoimmunity. It is like an Indian army dress up himself like a Pakistani and appear before the Indian army, and eventually he will be shot dead. Now we'll try to understand a variety of proteins called complementary proteins. These complementary proteins are assigned a very nice work, a very vital work. So when they come in contact with the cell membrane of an invader, like protein number 9, protein number 7, protein number 6. So what do? They start penetrating. They start making the pores. They start making the holes. So when there will be holes on the surface of the bacteria, when there are pores on the surface of the cell membrane of the virus, what will happen? The osmosis fails. In other words, there will be excess entry of the solvent or the water into the body of the virus, into the body of the bacteria. So the bacteria swells out and then bursts. So that is how the complementary protein helps us to have a good immunity. Now there is another thing in the immune system we'll try to understand called molecular mimicry. Molecular mimicry means we have many antigens in our body. Like on the surface of the RBC, we have antigen. Because of the presence of this antigen, the doctor can identify your blood group. And these antigens are called host antigens. But many viruses produce their proteins called viral proteins, and these viral proteins mimic our host protein. They look like the host protein. Am I clear? So our lymphocytes, instead of targeting the viral protein, because it will get confused, because they look like the host protein, they will, they will change their external configuration like the host proteins, like the bodily proteins. So what will happen, instead of targeting these proteins, these viral proteins, these antigens, or these unnecessary thing produced by the virus or the bacteria, so instead of targeting that protein, our immune system will target our own body protein. It's a dangerous situation, right? This is called molecular mimicry. Molecular mimicry. Now we'll also try to understand another thing called herd immunity, because it is now COVID-19 pandemic. So during this outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, we need to know what is herd immunity. So it is the resistance of our body, or it is the resistance or the resistant power of the body that we have, okay? So which will resist the spread of a contagious disease within the body. In other words, it will defend your body against the virus. As for example, COVID-19, it will protect your body against the virus. Okay, so there is another thing also we'll try to understand. How does our immunity protect our body? Very nice, because your God has created such a beautiful body. Your mouth produces saliva. In the saliva, you find the enzyme called lysoenzymes or lysozymes. And these enzymes will protect the body, protect the mouth from the entry of the invaders. Similarly, eyes. You have the lacrimal gland. Lacrimal gland produces the tears. The tears have the lysozyme in it. So when the eyes come in contact with the external environment, it will protect your body. It will protect your body from the entry of the invaders. Your nose, in the nasal mucosa, you have the lysozyme. And these lysozyme again protect your nose from the entry. Your skin, underneath your skin, you have the sebum. You have the sebaceous gland. Sebaceous gland produces the sebum. And the sebum has, I would say antigen property, or it will act against the invaders. Similarly, genitals. Genital, in the genital, there are fluid which also contains, the different variety, I would say the lysozymes. And again, this lysozyme does not allow the entry of the microorganism into the body. Want to appreciate the creation of the God? Want to appreciate? Now we'll try to understand. Now we learned a lot about the immune system, the function of the immune system. Let us try to understand what is the role of yoga and our lifestyle for immune modulation. So I have in this slide, I'll be discussing about, in this presentation, I'll be discussing about the role of daily yoga practices, the role of diet, and the role of lifestyle. Daily yoga practices. Every day we need to do a couple of yoga practices, at least Surya Namaskar. And it has been found scientifically that if you do Sukshma Vyam, or if you do Surya Namaskar, if you do a couple of yoga practices involving every organ, every lymphoid organ of the system, that will help you help you to have a better lymphatic system, better draining out of the lymph through the lymphatic channel. You can better expect the action of the lymphoid organs in the body. Every day or weekly twice or weekly once, so please do neti, because in the neti you use the isotonic solution. When any microorganism come in contact with this isotonic solution, it will not replicate, it will not proliferate. Similarly, you know, every day night you start gurgling. That will help you to neutralize the action of the microorganism in your mouth. So do Kapalbhati every day, either Kapalbhati or Bhastrika, because by doing Kapalbhati, you produce a high frequency breathing. Kapalbhati is a high frequency breathing because you produce, you produce your air, you expel out the air at the speed of 4,000 kilometers per hour. Produce the air which is much more higher than, you know, the I would say speed of the air of a cyclone. So this speed of the air, it is like the speed of the air of coughing. So with this speed of the air, no microorganism can stick onto the wall of the nose, stick onto the nose of the, stick onto the wall of the nose. Am I clear? So therefore, you need to do Kapalbhati unless you have so many heart complications, unless you have other complications like back pain or acute back pain. Breathing practices, it will help you to make your blood, in the blood you have the hemoglobin. So breathing practices will help you to make your hemoglobin to get saturated with the oxygen, so that the oxygen can reach to every tissue in the periphery of the body. Cardiorespiratory practices, the practices that improve your cardiorespiratory function, please do that. All the practices can improve your cardiorespiratory function. At least 10 minutes, please give your time at least for 10 minutes. That will help you to improve your cardiorespiratory function. And Surya Namaskar, all of you know, Surya Namaskar is a general tonic. And let me tell you why Surya Namaskar is so vital. And Surya Namaskar definitely has to be done over the sunlight during this rising sun. When the sun rises, you are supposed to do. Why? Now, because you will come in contact with the ultraviolet ray of the sun, and this ultraviolet ray has a very nice thing to do underneath the skin. Underneath the skin, you have the cholesterol, and this cholesterol gets converted into deoxycholecalciferol, and this deoxycholecalciferol moves to the liver. From the liver, it comes to the kidney. In the kidney, it is called calcitrol or vitamin D. And this vitamin D will make you to absorb more amount of calcium. And this calcium is responsible for all variety of the physiological function, like, like the delivery of the impulses within the nerve fiber, muscle contraction, heart, muscles of the heart, everything, even for encoding the memory, you need calcium. Calcium ion is so vital, so important for the body. And Surya Namaskar can help you to synthesize the vitamin D, and this vitamin D can take care of your whole body. What is the role of diet and immune system? Healthy immune system, warriors need good and regular nourishment. So deficiency of iron, folic acid, and vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin C, vitamin A, E, alter your immune responses. Therefore, in the medical shop, probably the doctor definitely will pester you to buy the medicine, which is the combination of vitamin C, vitamin D, and the zinc. It is also called immune booster. So it will make you to synthesize the immune cell, and then this immune cell will wage the war against the pathogens. Therefore, you require a good diet, a healthy diet, a diet enriched with the antioxidant, the fresh diet, the colorful diet that looks colorful. Like fruits and vegetables, they look colorful. And our lifestyle, go to bed early and get up early. That will make you to adopt a good lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle. Please make your body to move, because every individual in this society leading a sedentary lifestyle, except the wood choppers, except the stone cutter, except the blacksmith. Every individual is leading a sedentary lifestyle. And sedentary lifestyle is the primary cause for many lifestyle diseases, many non-communicable diseases. Have you seen any farmer? Have you seen any farmer getting afflicted with any lifestyle disease? No, you not find, because he knows how to expend his energy. He knows how to expend with respect to expend the energy in the form of different activity. So the lifestyle diseases are because of our sedentary lifestyle. So therefore, make a habit of either going for walking or cycling, do some yoga that will help you to lead a very nice lifestyle. Eat food enriched with that antioxidant, as I told you, because this antioxidant will neutralize the action of superoxides, neutralize the action of the free radicals. So the cells will not undergo mutation. When the cells do not undergo mutation, the cell will remain healthy, the body will remain healthy. Please eat the diet enriched with vitamin C. Vitamin C will help you to absorb the iron. Vitamin C will help you to synthesize the immune cell. Vitamin C will help you to synthesize the immune cell and many more functions in the body. Synthesize the collagen fibers so that you will not find any wrinkle on the surface of your skin. Relax yourself and combat your stress, because stress is one of the factors for many different variety of diseases. So therefore, you relax. Never become target oriented. You can become target oriented, but never jail yourself with the target. Never get yourself entangled with the targets. The stress will trap you. There are many research studies, and this research study says by doing yoga, definitely you can activate the helper T cells, cytotoxic T cells. You can definitely activate the function of B lymphocytes, and then you have another variety of cell which is found to be acting against the cancer cell or the tumor cell, called natural killer cell. In addition to these findings, there are other findings also. Yoga can enhance the central and peripheral toleration of the lymphocytes. So therefore, in medical science, there is no medicine for autoimmune disease. The only medicine we have to control the autoimmunity is steroid. But steroid is found to be immune suppressant. So would you like to go for making your body or getting your body injected with a steroid? Do yoga. That will help you to have the central and peripheral toleration of the lymphocytes. Yoga can clear out the antigen antibody complexes from the body. And for example, if your body is sensitive, what will happen? This antigen antibody complexes will get stuck in the joint leading to a problem called rheumatoid arthritis. It will get stuck in the heart called myocarditis. It will get stuck in the pancreas called pancreatitis. It will get stuck in the liver, so it will get stuck in the lungs called bronchitis. Am I clear? So there are many diseases. Got it? So in order to avoid the body to become hypersensitive, so do yoga that will help you to clear out the antigen antibody complexes from the body. Rather, these antigen antibody complexes will not get stuck in the vital parts of your body. Yoga can keep, and I will tell you one more thing. I have already shown you a thymus gland. I think probably you would have heard about it, that, for a child and for an old age person, your immunity is found to be very poor, because at the state of childhood or during childhood, this gland is in the state of emerging. This gland is in the state of growing up. But during old age, it starts shrinking. So till age 30, it will start growing. But it has been found that if you do yoga, if you do meditation, if you do pranayama, you can definitely keep the thymus gland intact even during old age. Not only that, yoga can also increase the secretion of DHEA. DHEA is found to be one of the immune booster. Dehydroepialdosterone, one of the hormone produced by the cortex of the adrenal gland. And only technique that can improve the secretion of DHEA is the meditation. And DHEA is also said to be one of the hormones that arrests the process of aging. And definitely it has been well established, yoga can reduce the salivary cortisol, because cortisol is found to be suppressing the immune cells. Immune suppressants. It is like steroids. Am I clear? So how to boost your immunity? So your first line of defense is to choose a healthy lifestyle. Do not smoke. Eat a diet high in fruits and vegetables. Exercise regularly. Maintain a healthy weight. Do not drink alcohol. Get adequate amount of sleep. And take steps to avoid infection, such as washing your hands frequently. If you eat, I think probably many of you will not be eating. If you are a vegetarian, fine, you are fine. But if you are a non-vegetarian, you cook meat thoroughly and try to minimize the stress. All these are the tips to boost your immune system. Thank you. If you have any question, so please do ask me. I think I do not know whether I could reach to the level of your satisfaction, but I wanted to convey the role of yoga for immune modulation, or yoga a potential tool for immune modulation. If you have any question, यदि आप लोग के पास यदि कोई सवाल है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं, और हम आपके हर सवाल का जवाब देने के लिए चाहेंगे. Yes. So there are the question. So I can read. Okay. So there are the question that, sir, should one take vitamin C and vitamin D together? So in the immune booster itself, you will find vitamin C and vitamin D, the combination of vitamin C and D, and there is a micro mineral that will help both the vitamin to get absorbed in the body. Okay, that is zinc. Am I clear? So vitamin C and D will be fruitful in the body when the zinc combines both the vitamins. Okay. Okay. So I already said yoga manipulating the immune system and how it works. I already said, I think. If you have any specific question in this regard, so please do ask me. Yes. Probably you can unmute yourself and start asking. You could unmute if you have any question. You could unmute yourself and start asking. Okay. Any question? Any question do you have? कोई आपके मन में कोई सवाल है इम्यून मॉड्यूलेशन के लेके कोई सवाल है? यदि कोई सवाल नहीं है तो फिर शायद कोई सवाल नहीं है किसी का।
ओके, किसी को अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पर हम अपना कार्यक्रम समापन की ओर ले जाएंगे। धन्यवाद सर, आपने बहुत ही अच्छा ज्ञान दिया है। आप सभी को पहले हम क्षमा याचना मांगते हैं कि कई बार कुछ टेक्निकल इश्यू होने के कारण बीच में कहीं प्रॉब्लम आया था।